Hello everyone, welcome to another video series outlining the features that you'll see in the BDO portal. And in this video, we're going to show you how you set up a portal for your client for the first time. So I'm on the landing page for the portal, and I got there just by entering portal.bdo.ca in the search bar here. And I'm going to hover over this gear icon, and you're going to see an option here called Admin Toolkit. So I'm going to click on that. This is where you'll be able to access the different templates that you have for your clients. So for example, if you want to maintain a folder structure for a number of different clients and you want to save it as a template, you can store it here. And you can also create client portals from here. I'm not going to go over the create batch functionality because this isn't ready at the moment, but the create portal function is working here, and I'm going to click on this option. So the first step that I need to take is I need to search for my client. And this information is cross-referenced with the information on Workday. So I'm going to click on this search bar and it's going to bring up a list of potential clients based on what I put in here. Now I can search this based on either client name or client ID based on what's in Workday. From here, I see that the first result is the client that I am looking for. So I'm going to click on check status. What this is doing is just checking to make sure if a portal has already been set up. The button is green, which means nobody has set up a portal for this client yet, so I can go ahead. If somebody had already set up a portal, then this button would turn blue. And then at that point, I would click on that button and I could see who had set up that portal, so I can contact them and get access to it. So I'm going to click on this green button. Before I create the portal, I can customize the client name. One thing to note is that this doesn't accept any special characters. So if there's any periods or ampersands in a client name, then you will have to remove those. This is a limitation of SharePoint. This isn't a specific restriction that we've put in. And then you'll also indicate who the main video contact will be. So I'm going to leave this as myself. I'm going to click next. And this will bring me to the area where I can set up projects for the individual clients. And generally, you're going to want to set up a year-end project for your client. So for here, I'm going to call this year-end 2020. Now you'll see that there's a couple of options here when I'm setting up a portal. The first thing you'll notice here is the security type toggle here. And the default is set to no. What this means is that I can make this project confidential. And what does that mean? Now, for the client and for BDO users, you do have an admin level access. And if you set up a number of projects for that client, all the admins are able to see all the projects that are set up. But if you want to control who has access to this project, then you can toggle this to yes, and only the people that you've invited to this project will actually see it. So even if the client has an administrative status in the portal, they won't be able to see this project unless you specifically invite them. This is especially helpful if you want to set up a project to restrict certain information. Say for an owner managed business, you want to set up a project for the personal taxes that only they can access, another bookkeeper. Or maybe you have a large organization that wants to share payroll information and they want to restrict access to those in the human resources department, for example. This is where you can use this function to restrict that. For the purposes of this, I'm going to leave it as no. The next option you'll see is Exchange. This was previously called PBC. And by default, this is enabled as yes. And this enables the Exchange app for the portal for this client. I would highly recommend that you leave this set as yes. And from here, you can choose a template for the Exchange app. And you'll see that we have a number of different templates, both in English and in French, depending on the different engagement types. So we have ones for audits, review engagements, and notice readers, depending on whether or not we prepare the tax returns or do any bookkeeping for the client. For more information on how the features in Exchange work, please refer to that training video for those functions. And then from there, I can start filling out who from the BDO side should be invited to this workspace. So I can search for colleagues to put as admin, and I can also search for people that I don't necessarily want to have admin access, but I will grant them as users. So I can customize this and add as many people here as I want. This is not the stage where you invite the clients at this point. Once this project has been set up, then you will go in and invite client users that way. And again, please refer to that training video for that documentation. Once I'm okay with this, then I'm going to click on Add Project. I have to select the template first, Add Project. You can see that I can set up multiple projects. So if I want to set up a project for a tax project, for example, or for an outsourcing agreement or some sort of special report, then I can set up multiple different ones here. This is also helpful if you're setting up a portal for a group engagement and you want to set up a project for each of the entities. That's how we recommend you handle group engagements. Then you can set up each of the projects for those entities here. Lastly, you review the information here to see whether or not this is the correct information. And assuming all is well, you click the submit button. Once you click submit, it will take a few minutes for the portal to be provisioned, but you will receive an email notification once it's ready.